looks like we're back up and running then. Second squad of the day in the Saturday in the International Senior Bowlers Tour Saturday today. There's got one more squad after this, and then tomorrow will be finals day. Sunday the 25th of September will be finals day. We'll be bringing it you live here on Riding the Ditch, so make sure you are staying tuned for that one. Obviously you have two more squads left before that one, so should be entertaining. Go over to the camera, the back, all in 10 and 11 as you see Baz Walker there, get a strike, nice little bit of a celebration from him. And Nev bowling out of Bromley ball coming over here, and Anthony Robertson, the fellow Geordie too, Anthony. Baz, sorry, getting a strike as well. Thought for a second then Hillary was going to match the two Geordies on her lane, but unfortunately she couldn't. As Nev Robinson there picks up a nice spare, the 2-7-8. Few Bromley bowlers out in force today as well now. Trevor Green and Nev Robinson bowling on the lanes that we're watching at the moment. And on the far side you've got Frosty, otherwise known as Mike Callowell, by birth, on lanes 3 and 4. Then you've got quite a few Robert Bruce players out, which we saw a few this morning, the likes of Steve Williams, Steve Thornton. And then you've got Danny Graham out as well, he was out this morning as well. Steve Thornton's in this squad, same as what was out this morning. And you've got Alan Keddy on the end pair of lanes. If I can get the iPad camera working, then we'll bring you the end pair of lanes, but at the moment the connection just does not want to seem to play ball. So we'll stick with the two cameras at the moment. Baz Walker there gets another strike. Starting off well is Baz on a pair of lanes that a lot of people seem to have struggled with. Lane 11 and 12, but to be fair, he probably has to his advantage that he hasn't bowled in this competition as of yet. As you see Steve Bosch there, going and picking up his spare. We've seen Steve bowl before. I think it may have been yesterday that he bowled in. Sandra Boswell then. We've seen her in a couple of competitions before. She leaves that 2-pin. As Nev gets a strike. Sandra started off pretty well, to be fair. Strike 9 spare, 3 strikes after that, and then it's 9 that she's on currently. So she's starting very well, looking to try and get scores early on the door. She misses that single pin. That might come back to haunt her. Hillary Cook going for a single pin then, over on lane 12, easy as you like. So we see Paul there, Paul Stott, he was out yesterday, getting a split at 3 310 tells me that he was heavy on the headpin. And you got that same combination left on lane 11. Steve Bowes leaves a 4-pin, apologises to the lane. Bit thankful for what happened. There's a re-rack on lane 11, so we'll see what. It was a 7-2 on the cards, and the lane's just not bothered to do a full re-rack for Baz. You see Steve pick up a spare, keeping it clean is Steve. Seems to be a feature of his game. We've seen him do it before. You see Baz there, puts it in the Brooklyn pocket. Gets the strike anyway. See Baz gets another. Oh no. 7-pin left there. We didn't see it. That's what we're putting it down to. Bowling pretty well though. He's the northeast man. Over to the other camera then, down on behind 4 and 5. You see Frosty there getting a spare, setting up nicely for his 10th frame. See there on lane 5. 2:10 left. Steve Coates was sat in third position at the start of the day. Don't know where he is after the last session. I will have to get an update on them scores. I will give him you as soon as I can. But Frank Livesey, the man that was top at the start of the day there, on lane 6, getting a strike. It's finished there for Ake on 1:55. Steve Coates then going for his single pin spare to finish off his first game, misses it, so he will finish with around 200. We watch Les now. Starting off the day a bit better than what he did yesterday is Les. On 191 as it stands at the moment, obviously going for this spare as well. As Frank Livesey then finishes with a 163. Form dipped a little after yesterday's performances. He was bowling well yesterday, was Frank, the man from Yorkshire. Oops. I'm back. Slight spillage from myself. Drink all over the Mac. And all over someone's bowling equipment, but we won't mention that one. Anyway, we're on to game 2 then in this second squad. What I will do is I'll ask Wall for an update of the scores after the session this morning, and I will read them out to you. But as it stands at the moment from this morning's session and who we've got in this session, if we go over to that camera now, you will see him on the right screen now, just coming into shot. Frank Lipsett was top this morning, and we did have a 300 in that morning, in that session that started at 11:30 from Gary Christopher. I don't know how he finished up. Struggled a little bit in that middle set, in that middle 2 games. So don't know how he finished. But he did have that 300, that magical 300, the first one on right in the ditch. As you see Les there, get a strike. Steve Coates was 3rd in the rankings at the start of the day as well. Was the man from Lancashire. You see Gordon Humphries now rolling. He's a big split, does Gordon. You see Steve Coates then going for his spare, 7-pin spare. Spares it up. Nice and lovely from the man. You see Gordon then. One of the smoothest swings in senior bowling. Picks up the 2. That spare, that there was left was spared yesterday from the man Lol Ellis. Hammer supported bowler. Oh, what a celebration there from Frank. The sway and everything as he comes back. Oh, I love it when we see celebrations on the bowling centre. It's things you like to see. It's what bowling's about, innit? You can tell that people are enjoying themselves. You see there, Angie Brown, she gets a strike. She's top of the leadings at the start of the day in the women's section. Neil Highgate then was top of the turbo, and then we saw Vincent yesterday with that near 300. We've had the 300 this morning, so he's dropped out of them 2 spots for the turbo. Go through. See Coates with a messenger. Takes out that 10-pin. And a big way from Ake on lane 6. Right then, I've got a picture of the scores on the doors. Read them out to you very, very shortly. We'll just watch Les as he gets the one of the luckiest spares I think you'll see all day. But it's a spare nevertheless. And off camera, you missed the celebration. Best way to describe it was like, it was like a fortnight dance from a senior. Let's put it that way. Any of the youth that are watching, they'll understand that one. Or any of the parents that are watching that have a young child, say young child, a teenager, they'll understand what a fortnight dance is as well, I imagine. See the spare there from Angie Brown. See Gordon Humphries then getting a strike in what is his 5th frame. Steve Coates leaves the 7th pin as you see Ake get the spare. So then the scores on the doors after squad 10 will go over to the camera. That's behind 10 and 11. At the top of the female section then is still Angie Brown with a 13.39. Then in second place is Veronica with a 12.73, the athlete from Belgium. Then her fellow Belgium athlete is Liliane Vitens in third place with 11.92. Then in fourth is Foria Pascal from the Netherlands with 11.89. Then it is in fifth place Gay McCullough with an 11.84. Then on lane 6 is Kimberly then in sixth position is Kimberly Oakley from the United Kingdom with an 11.68. That is the top 6 that will qualify if it stays like that. Then the 2 that have qualified from the early bird rankings then is Barbara Hansen with an 11.51 and Diane Johnson with an 11.22. Then in the turbo rankings, at the top of that is Angie Brown with a 2.49. Then it is Gay McCullough in second with a 2.44. We saw her before bowl that one. She had the first 7, I think, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. Pretty certain it was a 2.7, but the 2 that are going through at the moment is Sandra Boswell with a 2.27 and Marsha Daly with a 2.08. Given the people that are above them have already going through or have already gone through the early bird rankings then, and then going over to the men's section then. At the top of the rankings is still Frank Livesey with a 13.65. Then in second place is Mike Hallowell with a 13.47. In third is Ken Burton with a 13.16. Then in fourth is Lol Ellis with a 13.07. In fifth, Ian Buckland with a 13.04. In sixth is Steve Carnell with a 12.97. In 7th is Steve Coates with a 12.91. In 8th is Gary Baker with a 12.87. 9th is Alan Keddy with 12.85. And in 10th is Alan Jenkins with a 12.83. It is the top 24 that will go through on them ones, but don't think you're going to want to hear my voice read all them out all the way through to the 24. So I will do when it gets to the end of the day, because it will be classified results then. But that is as it stands. Early bird rankings then. The two that are going through at the moment on there is Nev Robinson and Matt Willis. Nev with a 12.16 and Matt Willis with a 12.05. And scratch rankings, the people that are going through it on that one at the moment: Steve Thornton with an 11.97 and Gary Christopher with an 11.68. I mean, top of the scratch rankings at the moment is Mike Hallowell with a 12.57. Frank Lives is in second there with a 12.33, and Steve Coates is in third with a 12.25. Then in the turbo rankings then, at the top, obviously, we see Gary Christopher with that 300 that he had this morning. Then in second place is Vincent Winyels with a 293 that we saw yesterday. Very, very close to that 300 was Vincent. He had the first 10. Fortunately, messed it up on the 11th. Then another person that will be going through in the turbo rankings as it stands is Ray Lay with a 257. Then it goes down to Kev Phillip with a 242. As it stands, this is, and Steve Wright with a 240. As the people that are around him are already through. Well, already through if it stays as it is, because they're in the top 24 on the general rankings, or they've made the two early birds, or they've made the scratch ones. Obviously it needs to add up to the amount that it says on the sheet, so it's 24, 26, 28, 32 for the men, 10 for the women. Get back to the action then. Anthony Robertson is about to bowl on lane 12. A man from the northeast. With Paul Stott there on lane 8. Both of them with an 8. One with a fairly big split in Anthony. And a small, easy pickup for Paul. He had the first 5, did Paul there. That went unnoticed by me. Normally we like to jump to conclusions. But it won't be another 300 as of yet from this game. Looking around, yeah, there's definitely nobody on for it. Some fairly big scores though going in by the looks of it. Few over 200 over that par score. You see Steve there bowling a 9. It was nice. Do you know what that is? That is a nice top that Steve Bowles has got on. You see Baz Walker then bowling. Leaves a split himself. Imagine what his fellow North East compatriot did. Baz who bowled in the counties. I think he bowled for, I'm pretty certain he was Durham. If I'm wrong, I do apologise, Baz, mate. Bowled pretty well, they qualified. I was at that one. We was at that one. I was bowling in that one. We had it live on the Facebook, that Yorkshire versus Lancashire battle. Unfortunately, Yorkshire did win that one. That's my bias showing on that. Well, Lancashire started pretty well, to be fair, in that battle. So we see Baz now going for his split. Picks up single pin. Nearly had the other one with it. It would have been good for a left-hander to spare that one anyway. As we see Nev then bowling out of Bromborough Bowl, as his t-shirt says. Leaving a baby split in the 3-10. Trevor then going for his. Takes the one out. Heavily stretched up arm from Trevor. Again, another bowler bowling out of Bromborough Bowl. I'm talking about bowlers from Bromborough Bowl. See Nev there pick up that baby split spare. Good spare that from Nev. Hillary then. Leaves the 2. It leaves the 3, sorry. There's a sleeper behind that one. The 128. We'll watch Paul Stock's shot then, and then we'll jump back over to the other camera as Baz Walker jumps in off camera. It's really awkward with the camera angle. It's not, when they line up, they're not on camera. And Paul there leaves the 1, 2, 4. So we'll jump over to the other one. We'll watch Les Grant then bowling. Oh, so unlucky from Les. Looking at it, telling the pins off for not falling over. He's a character. Here's Les as Neil Highgate takes out 2. Probably the harder 2 to take out, but he takes out that 2 from the 4 that he left there as we see Frosty pick up his spare on at lane 4. I'm still laughing at what I've just seen from Les. There's a shout of goal from the left. As Les puts it in between the 7th and 10th pin. See you then, Hillary. Bowling on the camera. I've not got live. I'm just telling the mechanic that stood behind me about lane 3, as you can see there on shot. Just needed the pins clearing up. The pins have been cleared up now. There's a 10 pin for Gordon. He's had to wait a little bit for that one. Frank Livesey, the leader at the moment there on lane 5, leaving that single pin. The curse of Wednesday night for Frank seems to be striking here, because he seems to have had a few 9s in this game, but he's bowling fairly well. Struggled with a couple of his spares by the looks of it, looking at his score. The 164 at the moment. So you see then Frank picking up a spare. Andrew Brown then bowling on lane 3, leaving a single pin. You can see the expression on her face there, the whoa. She thought she might have had that one. As Les puts it in that pocket again, leaves the 10 pin. He was unlucky on his last shot. He's unlucky with that one. Struggling for the carry is Les. So you see Frank then, the leader at the moment, bowling his final shot in this second game. Finishes with a 173, a respectable score from Frank there. Ake finished with a 155 on that pair as well. So we watch Les then bowling for the 10 pin. Picks up the 10 pin, which means it will have another shot in this 10th frame. On 7-1 as it stands for Les. Neil Highgate bowled fairly well in one of the early birds. Well, yeah, it must have been one of the early bird sessions. It was Wednesday or Thursday that he bowled in. See Gordon Humphries look at the ground, leaves the 8 pin. It was a fairly nice shot from Gordon. Slightly unlucky to leave that one. See Les there, get a strike. Tells the lane, that's how to do it. What a character. What a character. See Neil Highgate then going for this split. Right through, another goal on lane 5. More goals than what we saw for England last night and majority of the summer. Obviously, the England football team got knocked out of that Nations League group. Just wanted to play. They just wanted to do a triple crown in bowling and play Wales and Scotland. That's effectively what they wanted to do. We see Gordon then, ball, picking up his spare. Nice and simple that from Gordon Humphries then. So we'll jump back over to the camera up on the latter lanes. Baz Walker then going for this 1-3-6. Picks it up nicely. Nice little clap. So Sandra Boswell goes heavy on that headpin, leaves the 6'10". Nev stands right in front of his ball, so good to see how he was reacting, but he gets a strike anyway. See if the iPad's got any sort of signal at the moment. Nope. Got full green screen on it. See Sandra just missing that split spin, taking out the 10-pin. Perfect 10-pin. We've got to look at it. Any positives that you can take. See Paul then. Bowling on lane 10. Gets at full pin from behind, gets a strike on the card, setting it up well for his final frame. Is Paul Stock. Steve Bowles then on lane 9, lane 11 there. You see Hillary leave the 1-8. How she did that? It was the second shot. That's how she left that. Sandra Boswell. Is that a 5-pin that's left by Sandra? I think it's a 5-pin. Everybody get your hands up in the air. It's a 32-man squad as well. So this could be an expensive round for Sandra if she misses this. Watch Anthony then instead. Bowling on lane 11. Was heavy on the head pin. Gets away with that one though. Leaving that 6-pin there. Sandra Boswell. Hands up. We mentioned it before today. Oh, she's missed that 5-pin. Now, we've mentioned it before, but Thursday night's out all drinking. The league to be in, if you ask me, and I'm not just saying that because I run it. But we've now got everybody doing slow claps whenever anybody leaves a 5-pin. The whole league stops pretty much. 5-pin, slow claps going. There was one left on 3 and 4, and I know she's watching because she sent me a message. My sister Emily, leaving that 5-pin on 13 and 14. She's got an expensive round to buy in at the start of next week. She knows it as well. Trevor Green then, bowling on lane 11. Man from Bromborough does well and gets the strike. Starting his 10th frame well. Looking to finish strong in this second game is Trevor. Hillary bowling on lane 12. Paul bowling on lane 9. Paul couldn't carry on from his strike that he had in the 9th frame. Finishes that shot with 2 pins left standing. Getting a strike there, nice. 2 strikes in that 10th frame. Like I said, looking to finish strong as Paul misses his spare. Finger gun to his head, but finishes with a 2-10 there. Nice game from Paul in his second 10 over. You'll take that all day long, especially in a big competition like this. You see Steve Bowles get a Brooklyn strike, waves that one away. You've got to take every strike. I'd be fist pumps out and everything for them ones. I love it when you get the lucky strikes because you never really get them. You get more unluck than what you get luck in this game. Oh, and that just shows you it right there. Lane 11. Trevor putting it in the pocket, leaving the 7-10. Luckily, it was his last shot though. He finishes with a 150. Hillary bowls her last shot. She finishes with a 133. Steve picking up his spare nicely. That means that he will finish his game with a 145. Baz Walker and Sandra Boswell bowling pretty much identical timings. Baz gets another split. That must be about his fourth this game. It's his third. Wasn't far off with me guess. Nev then bowling on lane 10. Nice strike from Nev there. That's a turkey for Nev. You know what that means? Go, 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 go. Anthony Robertson leaving the 2 pins there on lane 12. The 2 northeast bowlers struggling on lane 11 and 12. They'll be happy to see the back of that pair as they move on at the end of this one. Nev then bowling. He hits his strike before on the card for Nev to finish with one more left to go. Looking for a big finish is Nev. Bromwell Bowl athlete pretty much last the ball in this second game. Heavy on that head pin, but it doesn't really matter. He won't be bowling at that split, so he'll finish with a 178. So just watch Anthony bowl his last shot of the game. Finishes with a 164. Does Anthony? So the players will change lanes then. 2 lanes to the right for everyone. Bring you people as they come, as I just need to change the battery in the camera on the left hand lane, and I might see if I can potentially get the iPad camera to work, but we're at the mercy of the Wi-Fi. You can probably tell with if it's glitchy on the streams. I know it was glitchy yesterday, won't surprise me if it's glitchy again today. And then we're underway for game 3 then. We're watching Riding the Ditch's coverage of the International Senior Bowling Tour. This morning's session we saw the first 300 on the channel. Gary Christopher was the man that gets that. He will then get the qualification through the turbo rankings, no doubt, with that score. So we look then on lanes 9 through to 12. We have Neil Highgate on here, Frank Livesey on here as well. That is lane 9. Then on lane 10 we have Ake Bruckheiser and Les Grant. As we were saying before, we saw it on the other camera angle. Les, the character, with some of the shots that he was having. Then on lane 11 we have Mick Ince, Alan Jenkins, Gary Barlow and Steve Thornton bowling there on lanes 11 and 12. We'll watch Alan's shot and then we'll jump over. Oh, we got a stick for Leslie's as we see the 4-pin fall from behind. It was a nice strike in the end from Alan, just like any other strike. They're all nice. So we'll watch Leslie's shot and we'll jump over to the other camera so I can run you through the names. Les there asking for a bit of luck into the other pocket, doesn't get it. So we'll go over to the other camera then. As we have on lane 3, we will have, as I look at the sheet, we'll make sure to try and figure out who we've got over there. We'll have Mark Wills, Floria Pascal, Alan Kedde and Alan Young. They're not on the lanes 5 and 6. We've got Colin Gross and Paul Loberman and Sandra Simmons and Gay McCulley. So they're the ones that will be covering for games 3 and 4 then here on Riding the Ditch. We see Paul Loberman there getting his spare on lane 5. Alan Kedde then on lane 3. The Scottish bowler falls under United Kingdom for this one though. Doesn't quite connect with that pocket, leaves the 1, 2, 4. As we watch Mark then bowling on lane 4, leaves the 10-pin. Okay, Alan bowling at his spare game up, looking to carry on that fall from the end of the last session. Gets a nice strike, does Gay. That's 2 on the cards for this game. Colin Gross then bowling on lane 6. Doesn't quite connect with that one, straight through the head pin. It's a funny old leave. He's left the 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10. Yeah, a lot of pins. That's what I was thinking. Sandra Simmons then bowling on lane 5. Anya on lane 3. Anya's asking for it to do a bit more. I think Sandra was asking for the same. Both of them not really happy with that one. Frida there, leaving the 10-pin on lane 4. So we watch Colin Gross put it into the gutter. That's a 4 miss from the man I call Dad. Put it that way. And we really reminded of that one later on this evening. Don't know if you was watching, but if you was watching on our latter streams before, we had the ship plate senior doubles on there. We had Ian Runacres to the side of me, and it was a running joke for the pretty much half of the day. There, he missed the 10 pin and he went, "That was my 100th 10 pin that I could have had there, but I missed it." It was Colin Gross's words, right? And he missed it. And then after that, he was counting all the 10 pins throughout the day. I mean, if he carries on after that frame, we might as well just count how many pins he gets. It'd be easy to count him. And I can say that because he's my father. So we see Paul Oberman then, bowling on lane 6, leaves the 10 pin. Alright, so this has come from the woman that left the 5 pin and didn't spare it on Thursday night. Yeah, and I know she's watching him work. Yes, Emily Gross, you left that 5 pin on Thursday night. Hannah and Imogen, make sure you rub that in. As we see there, Alan Kedder getting a strike on lane 4. Oh! It was like we had a power cut. As we see then, Colin Gross bowling, recovers a bit from his last shot, leaves the 2-8, not the easiest of spares. Anya Yang then leaving that 3 pin. As we look at Colin Gross, only can take out the 2. That's 2 opens on the bounce for him on this pair of lanes. Don't know how he did in the first game. Well, first 2 games. Looks like them scores going in. They're just getting double checked. As soon as I have them, I'll run you through what we've had so far after the first 2 games in this squad. Obviously, we've had a squad this morning. I can run you through them if you want. I'll run you through the top 3 in all the standings then. So we look, we'll get the scores up, give me 2 seconds. I know they're on our Facebook page, Ride in the Ditch. If you've not already liked it, go and like it, you know what to do. Right then, in the female section at the top of the general rankings is Angie Brown with a 13.39. Then in second place is Veronica Kay from Belgium with 12.73. Then in third place is Liliane Vitens from Belgium as well with an 11.92. Then at the top of the scratch rankings, Veronica Kay with a 12.55, Angie Brown with a 12.55 as well, and Gay McCullough with an 11.72. Then at the top of the turbo rankings is Angie Brown with a 12.49, Gay McCullough with a 2.44, and Veronica Kay with a 2.40. So that's the female section for you there. Before this squad that was. And I mean, even if you counted this squad session, they're not bold enough to even come close to any of them scores anyway. So I'm pretty sure that we can count this squad in it as well if you really want to. And then in the general rankings for the men, you have Frank Lipton at the top with a 13.65, the man from Yorkshire. Then in second place is the man from Lancashire, slightly behind him, man they call Frosty, Mike Callowell with a 13.47. Then in third place is Ken Burton with a 13.16. Then at the top of the scratch rankings is that Lancashire man, Mike Callowell. Then in second place is Yorkshire, Hank Livesey with a 12.33. Then in third place is Steve Coates with a 12.25. Then at the top of the turbo rankings, we saw it this morning. If you haven't watched it already, you got the last shot on the Facebook page from Gary Christopher. You can go and watch it now if you really want to, but you might as well stay tuned with this one. It is Gary Christopher that had that 300 game this morning. Then you've got in second place in the turbo rankings Vincent Winyals. Last night, if you was watching that near 300 as you watch Game of colour. Get a strike on lane 5. She's got 4 in a row so far. And in third place, you have Steve Carnell with a 2.74 then. So that's as it stands at the moment in the rankings for this International Senior Bowling Tour. The Stroud UK stop. We'll go over to the camera on the latter lanes then. 9 through to 12. As we watch another Yorkshire athlete in Gary Barlow. Bowling. Takes that 10 pin out with a pin out of the gutter. Nice little members bounce from Gary. Frank Livesey then, his Yorkshire compatriot, gets that spare on lane 9. Steve Thornton stepping up to bowl on lane 11. Yes? Thank you. Bowls, he gets the pin out the gutter that takes that 10 pin. Les Grant bowling. Lane 10. Asking for it to go in the Brooklyn pocket. Oh, we've got a 5 pin. Neil Highgate on lane 9. Just had a ball delivered from Mr. Steve Thornton. Gets that nice little members bounce as well. The messenger going over, taking that 10 pin out. And what was it you said before, Mark? We don't get messengers. Mark, the manager that he's on tonight, in the bowl. If you've been to Stroud, you'll know who he is. That's them bowling for this 5 pin. Oh, just about gets that one. He was hanging on. He was definitely hanging on. That's that ball there, but it managed to stay in. As we see there, Mick get a strike on lane 11. Missed it and not had a chance to go back over, but Game of Colour did get her 5th strike on the cards. We'll definitely try and jump back over there when we can. Gary Barlow not so strong on that one. As we see Frank Livesey though, the other Yorkshire athlete, on the camera at the moment with a big yee-haw when he gets that strike. Nice strike there from Alan Jenkins, that one. We see slight hiccup from Ake on lane 9. Neil Highgate then, and Gary Barlow going for his spare. Neil Highgate, that looks pretty nice from him. Leaves the 7 pin, so unfortunate. Looks smoother though. He's saying that he's a bit tense. You can see it in his body language as he's walking off the lane. But it looked a bit smoother than what he was bowling down here on lanes 5 and 6 before. If you watch Les bowling on lane 6, he gets a strike. Nice fist pump into the air from Les. Tell you, if you put a camera at the back of his lane, you'd have some right entertainment. It's a shame he's not just a focus on camera on Gay Bowles over on the far side. She leaves an 8 pin. Didn't quite catch that one on the camera. But, oh no, it's a 5 pin? It's a 5 pin. We've got to go over. We've got to definitely go over. I didn't fit. It was actually an alright shot. I did watch it on the shot. I didn't manage to click transition on the software that we use. But anyway, 5 pin, hand up in the air. After she's had 5, she surely can't miss a 5 pin, can she? No, she gets that one. Emily, I know you're watching. That's how you spare it. Annie Yang then on lane 3. Free Dot on lane 4. Paul Overman on lane 6. Paul heavy on that hairpin, very heavy. Got what that shot really deserved, to be honest. As Free Dot goes into the wrong pocket. Back over. Didn't quite catch Leslie's reaction on that one. I wanted to catch that. I could see the shot because I got where on the software that you use, you can see the shot that you want to transition to. And I was trying to get to that transition button as quick as I possibly could. See Neil there just missing the 10 pin. Harry Barlow with a big split there to try and convert. Right, I'm going to see if I can get hold of the scores from the first 2 games then, as we watch Frank. Oh, not happy with that one. Big shake of the head. Gets away with it though, leaves the 6-10. As we see Alan get another strike on the cards. That's a double for him now. Over on lane 12. Gary Barlow turns his back on that one. Gets that single pin. As we see Frank pick up that spare then. Right, we will run you through the scores after 2 games. Mark Willis has a 460 including his bonus. Then we have Colin Gross had a 377 including his bonus. Paul Overman, the man that's bowling with him right now on lanes 5 and 6, had a 331 including bonuses. This is after 2 games, don't forget. Sandra Simmons had a 458 including her bonuses. Gay McCullough has a 434 including her bonuses. Gordon Humphries has a 484 including his bonuses. Going fairly okay is Gordon. Angie Brown then has a 432. Mike Callowell 444. Frank Livesey 468. Neil Highgate has a 361. Ake has a 376. Les Grant 542. Les is going pretty well at the moment. The man with the plan at the moment is Les. He's got the swagger at the moment. Bowling pretty well as well in this game. Frank Livesey then on lane 9 bowling to the Brooklyn pocket, but we see a nice celebration there from Mick Ince on lane 10. As he says he's got the 3 times. I mean, you know what? If you're saying that on the lanes, then you know what it needs on commentary. The Selwyn Gobble. See another strike on lane 10. He's coming in thick and fast over here. He's coming in that thick, and I'm not even going over to lane 3 through to 6 because all the action is coming on these pair of lanes. I've not even run through the scores, and I'm trying to run through the scores as well. Let's go over back onto the photos then. Let's get these scores back up. Let's try and give you a bit more of a run in then. Who did we say last? It was Les Grant with a 542. Mick Ince with a 389. Marsha Daly with a 383. Gary Barlow with a 462. Stephen Thornton with a 434. Paul Stock with a 472. Sandra Boswell with a 407. Stephen Bowles with a 401. Nev Robinson with a 530. We saw him on the camera a little bit earlier. Bowling pretty well, the man out of Bromber Bowl. Trevor Green with a 397. Then you've got Barry Walcott with a 437. Anthony Robertson, the other man from the northeast, with a 410. Then you've got Walcott with a 344. Lillian Vitens with a 465. Danny Graham with a 358. Anya Yang with a 418. Alan Keddy with a 469. Frida Pascal with a 496. And Alan Jenkins with a 525. Then so that's the scores on the dot after the 2 games in this session. Top man in that one is Les Grant with a 542. Obviously he's got age bonuses on that one, but he's going pretty well in this. Is Les, and you know what, I'd love it if Les gets through into the qualifying rounds, just through his antics on the lane, let's put it that way. It's entertainment at its finest. Frank then bowling on lane 10 as we watch pick up hat spare. There's another strike for Alan on lane 12. Lane 10 you see a spare from Ake. We'll watch Frank's shot and then we'll transition back over to the camera on the far side then. Frank going straight through that headpin. Colin Gross then bowling on lane 5. Gets a strike. He's bouncing back from that 4 miss that he had in the second frame. Alan Kidder. That's a nice strike, does Alan, the man from Scotland, and if you look at his shirt you can't tell that he's from Scotland, with that Scottish pattern that he has at the bottom of his shirt. So Andrew Simmons leaving a big split on lane 6 as we watch Frida then bowling on lane 3. And it's a nice strike, does Frida. Paul Oberman holding heavy on that headpin is Paul. Leaving the 2 in the corner, that's 6 to 10. And Yang then. That looks heavy if you ask me. Yes, he goes straight through that headpin. She gets away with that 3 there because he was asking me when she released that, it looked like it was on for a split. Looked like it was going to go very heavy on that headpin. It went even heavier than what I thought it was. That's why she's left the 3 on the right. She gets away with it realistically. Watch Paul Oberman then picking up the spare nicely with the hand device on. You have to get him. If you go over to the bar, mate, and ask him at the bar, because we aren't staff here. Colin goes on lane 6, then on lane 4 we have Matt Wills. Both bowling near enough identical times. Both struggling to get a strike. Alan Keddy then. He's showing him how to hit that pocket. Leaves the 10 pin. He was unlucky. I thought he was getting a strike there from what I was watching. Game of colour then after having that 5 in a row at the start. Coming goes, picks up his spare. Matched by Mark on lane 4. Oh, we're in the 10 frames. 10 frames here as well. Didn't think we was that far ahead in this game, to be honest with you. I mean, on lanes 9 and 10, they're in the fourth game. It's going fairly quick. How time flies when you're having fun, eh? Who'd have thought it? Right then, Mark Wills and Colin Gross going again in that 10th frame. Bowling. Colin gets the strike. Mark goes for the night fever stand, asking for... Oh, I apologise for what we've just seen on camera there. Oh. Let's rewatch. Alan, get a strike on lane 3. Sandra Simmons there leaving the 2 on lane 5. Seems to be trotting away nicely though. All over, leaving the 2 pin with very light on that pocket. Sorry, bowling at the same time. Sandra missing her spare, that means so the scores on the door 10 on this pair of lanes, and Colin Gross had a 151, Gay had a 211, Sandra had a 144, and on lanes 3 and 4 we had a 204 from Mark and a 178 from Alan. That's the classified results at the moment as they finish. Paul Oberman misses his spare, that means that he'll finish with a 167. Oh, Colin and Paul both struggling there. They're definitely better bowlers than what they are. We saw him win the Shipley Senior Doubles back at the start of this channel back, was it June time? Might have been May. It's around that time, it was very early on. Frida then, bowling. Nice strike from Frida to finish her 3rd game. Means that she'll finish with a 184. Anna then bowling, that's her last shot of the 3rd game. She finishes with a 155. So we'll go back over to the other camera. Watch Steve Fortin in action then on lane 11. Leaves the 10 pin. Watch Arcade get a nice strike there. And then Neil Highgate, lane 8, had a strike in the 1st. Can he match it? Yes, yes he can. Nice little blow of the cheeks to the camera. Fist goes straight over to Frank, who's had the first 2 as well, to celebrate with Frank also on his lane. And Les, can he carry on with his good run of form so far in the first 3 games? He's had a 9 spare in his first. Oh, it's heavy on that head pin, but you see your right frame. Mick Ince with a strike. It's out of his 4th game. Gary Barlow then, the guy from Yorkshire. Tell you what, Gary, that was absolutely fantastic. I'm making my own entertainment up here, I'm making myself laugh. I love it, Les. There, doing a nice strike, doing a bit of tap dancing as he comes back from that spare. See, this is why I've got to stick with this camera, because there's too many entertainers. Steve Thornton then. Can he match the other three that are bowling on his pair of lanes? They've all had strikes to start off their fourth game. Oh! Referee have a word because he shouldn't be leaving the 8-10 there. Nice shot. Unlucky. Frank can't carry on after his 2 that he started off with. Leaves the 3-10. Must have been heavy. Zaki leaves the 1-2. Frank then looking to pick up his spare. Nice spare from Frank. Right. Can Gary Barlow get another strike? Yes, he can. If he carries on like that, he'll end up like the other Gary Barlow on the Morrison's advert. Ambitions in life. McInch just heavy on the headpin there on lane 11. Leaving the 4-7. And the Highgates had the first 2 in this 4th game. Looks, oh, you know that's good when they start stepping it over onto the next lane. Les then tries to. I love how he tries to swipe it in every time. You see, watching, he'll stand there at the foul line and he'll go to try and swipe it in. Watch Mick Ince, and then we'll switch over to the other camera. Watch Gay McCulley then. She had the first 2, put the camera back over to her, and that's what happens. She had the first 5 in the 3rd game, put the camera over to her. Must be camera shy, so we watch Colin Gross then get a strike on that lane 6. As I'll go over to change the camera then in the other camera. It's Alan Keddy there, nearly gets the messenger onto the 10 pin, but the 10 pin does not want to fall. Oh, it does fall. I do apologise, messenger does get it. Oh my god, how long have I had the mic on mute? Probably since the battery changing it. Non-league commentary. Pretty much how it is. See a nice strike there on lane 4 from Mick. Oh, I've just got my head in my hands because I've had some good commentary going as well, and I can't believe that I've had the mic on mute. Miss of the spare there from Colin Classy's come off. That's when you know he's not, he's annoyed with himself. Sandra Simmons then bowling on lane 6. 10-pin wobbles, doesn't want to fall for it though. That's Frida, just goes straight through the head pin, washing it out. Big split for Frida to try and spare there. Only taking out the 1, 2, 8, 9. Danya Yang then bowling on lane 3. Doesn't get the mix that she wants, but gets a good 9 in the end as it's a nice strike from Paul Lubman. 8 spare to start with. Then he's had 5 after that. Sandra Simmons missing single pin. Frida then looking for this big spare. Gets the big spare. Shouts of what a shot from the back of the lane. I've been doing commentary and left the microphone off. Yeah. Danya Yang there, just missing the single pin. Right then, what is going on? Nice strike then from Mark on lane 3. Going for the 10 pin, nice spare from Alan. Get him a colour then. And Frida. Okay, he's asking for it to turn. It turns nicely for Fagay. Frida leaving a big split then. And Yang just not getting the hook on that one. Neither does Colin Gross. He's getting stage fright, he's the big man. Sandra Simmons then bowling lane 5. Leaves the 10 pin. There's 2 on the bounce from unlock it from Sandra. And that gets a nice spare there. Colin can't get that sleep up, being a pain. Sandra Dent bowling gets a single pin spare. Alan Kedde. Hands on his knees, but he gets the strike anyway. It might have been in the wrong pocket, but who cares? Quite frankly, Alan doesn't. We'll jump back over to the other camera because they are in the penultimate over. Over? It's not cricket. The penultimate frame. This is bowling. The ball jumps out the pin, so that out the gutter, so that'll have to be scrubbed off. Lane 9 needs the spare taken off for Ake. Oh, lane 10 it is then. Yeah, Ake at the top. Yeah, needs that spare taken off, mate. Cheers. Yeah. There's Jan. Went wide on his shot there. Didn't come back for him. A couple that he's got to try and take out. Other side of us here now, right there. We've got Lawless. He's bowled in it. He's fourth at the moment in the standings.
And won it last year.
And won it last year, right? I have to mention that as well, do I?
Yeah, of course.
Right. How did you get on first and foremost?
What in his not so good the first squad that I played in. Second squad, obviously, I played a lot better, but obviously I was a bit more knowledgeable of what was happening with the pattern. So I was okay. I didn't play great, and I was nobody more surprised than me to still be forward because I thought the scores in the last part were some good scores, but nobody got past me, so nobody more surprised than I was. So.
There seems to be quite a few people struggling to string a few games together, to be fair.
Yeah, well, obviously it's the same pattern as last year, but we used ice as the oil that we used last year, but this year we used fire, which reacts differently. Some people might not know that, but most educated bowlers will realise that with the viscosity of the oil, the ice is more viscosity, so it doesn't move quite so easy as the fire is less, and obviously that moves around a lot better, not more. So people are not seeing that in early enough to make the adjustment for it, and I saw that. I did some stuff that I did to make me get to the pocket better. So yeah, but there's still been some good scoring. A 3 in the game is now, we had 10 in a row the previous day as well. So, and every tournament I've held this tournament, the old guys have still managed to get a 3 in the game, at least one 300 game every time it's been held. So.
And the first one on our channel. Let's see if we can get
absolutely,
over. Let's see if we can beat
maybe,
your 350k views.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. I mean, if we can get another 300, I'll be more than happy for someone to get another 300. So that'd be great. I mean, obviously, I have to thank you, Thomas, for coming and setting up. And it's going. I've shared it worldwide, obviously, with Brunswick Bowling and all the guys from all over Europe have been sharing it. I've shared it on my World Senior Group page, which obviously goes to Australia, and there's lots of members of that group, so they'll be seeing it as well. So hopefully we'll get some lot of hits and whatever. So
hopefully, I hope so. Anyway, I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but I mean, we've got to tell you what, entertaining 2 pairs of lanes here. From lane 9 to lane 12, had some right entertainment.
Yeah, okay.
You know, we've had Les Grant, and I love the way that he tries to swipe it in with his feet at the foul line.
And obviously you as a youngster have seen the old guys playing, and you can see that we might be old, but we know how to play. So
yeah, okay. That's it. Okay. And you've seen it with a 300 this morning, so it says it all, really.
Yeah.
And then yesterday you had Vincent that nearly had it. He had the first 10.
He's a younger senior, if you like, but he did turbo this time, which obviously gives him an option to get in by that one single game. So even guys who are not a lot of bonus can still make the cut to get to the final and still can win the tournament. It's been done before, so.
Yeah, obviously finals day tomorrow. We're bringing that one live. I'm riding the ditch. What time does it start? Let's get play them now.
I've not seen anybody actually riding the ditch yet. So I think here was quite low friction.
Yeah.
So to ride the ditch, we'll probably need a lot of. I might just throw one down the ditch in practice just for the sheer hell of it. Something with a lot of surface on that, and that's see what happens. And maybe that might be a place to be that nobody else is playing.
But tell you what, I'd love to see the first person that wins that rides the ditch throughout the tournament.
Yeah,
I bet you it's one of the older lot. I doubt it'd be one of the younger ones.
No. Well, obviously we are been events we have to play. I mean, the one that I won earlier in this year in Wittelsheim, I was playing maybe 3 or 4 boards right of everybody else. I had the lane to myself, so that's sometimes what you need to do. You need to get out of your comfort zone, play something that everybody else is not playing, and you get your results, obviously.
A lot of people, it's in the back of their mind, and
Yeah,
the gutters at the side.
Even younger players like to play certain parts of there. That's their comfort zone. I call it their comfort zone. But sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone and do something different.
Yeah, exactly. No, definitely.
So definitely, you've got to get away from doing what you normally do. Because if the lane says you've got to play here and you're playing somewhere else, you're not going to score, are you? So.
No, that's exactly how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his pattern is actually rewarding good shots and penalising bad shots. Whereas the recreational patterns, you can play bad shots and still get good results out of it. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have those, and lots of leagues and tournaments play on that stuff. So it's a fine balance of knowing, do we have a real pattern and everybody plays out good, that you go happy, or we play something that's a bit more challenging, and then maybe we get the so-called better or quality players to the final where they should be. So
that's where the handicap comes in the age bonus, to be fair.
And there's a lot of thing about the bonuses and stuff, but I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, but when I played in Wittelsheim, I averaged 242 in the round robin, scratch.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure whoever was playing in that final, I would have still won that final. So that's just how it is sometimes.
Yeah, no, and I think, to be fair, in terms of leagues, the recreational ones are better because you then get people coming in and joining the league, and it helps the sport of bowling.
Yeah.
But then when you're coming in, if you're bowling an international sporting event, you can't be expecting to bowl on a recreational pattern, surely.
No. But some of the events I held are a bit more recreational, and so the scores are obviously a lot higher. And the scores last year were better than they were this year, but we had probably a bit more quality of players as well. Some of those players aren't here; they're playing elsewhere, so that's where their choice. But obviously, the pattern, like I said earlier, that the pattern is playing differently because of the oil change, and that's just another. If you play golf on a windy day and play golf on a sunny day, I'm sure you have to play different.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, and our sport's now different. And golf, I can see all the hazards and the trees and the bunkers, but out here, they're there, but we can't see them.
And it changes as well.
Yeah.
In terms of golf courses and stuff like that.
Yeah, the tree don't move next day when you come to. It's the same place.
No.
Obviously, it does move.
Yeah, exactly. When you move on to a different pair of lanes, it'll be different.
Okay. Yeah, thanks so much, and I'll get back to you later and see where it's going.
No problem.
Keep up the good work, Paul.
No problem, mate. I'm going to have to go and make sure that the other camera's on. But we're coming to the end of the second game, the fourth game anyway, so we're moving very, very soon. We'll make sure that the camera's turned on over there, so I'll give you 2 seconds.
Told anybody anything, have you? No, exactly. They don't have
The camera's back up and running, so we'll catch the very latter shots then on lanes 3 through to 6. Nice little insight there from Lol, the tournament manager for this one. Obviously he's bowling in it as well. Like we said, he's sat currently in 4th position is Lol. Yeah, you might need a translator on it or subtitles up, to be fair. The man being from Birmingham. Well, I mean, to be fair, if you're listening to my commentary and you're not needing the subtitles, then you've done pretty well anyway. And Yang there just going straight through the head pin, leaving a big split. As you see then on lanes 5 and 6 it is finished. Colin Gross with a 159, Paul Oberman with a 253, good game from Paul. Gay McCulley with a 221, good game for her. And then Sandra Simmons with a 189. Oops. I did not mean that. I do apologise. Anyway, the last and final shot then for Frida. You see then 3-4 finished. Stopper 3, Mark. Mark. 213, Mark Wills. You have Alan Kelly with a 178. Anna Yang with a 180. Frida just finishing up then her final shots.
Agony. 2 cracked ribs. I fell over when I was running in America, jogging. Flat on the ground. Yeah. I know, that's why I didn't think I'd be able to bowl this today.
Frida puts her final shot in the gutter. She was trying to ride the ditch, that's what it was. Just for the channel. Goes in the gutter though, finishes with a 161. Oh, bowlers will move, and as they move, I'm going to go get a drink. So we'll see you in a couple of minutes' time. Right then, we are back for game 5. I've got a drink and I'm rehydrated, so you know what that means. More earache for you, the listener. The joys, eh? So, we have got then on lane 3, Baz Walker, Anthony Robinson, Hillary. I'm trying to find her on the sheet so we can get her surname. Cook, Hillary Cook, and Trevor Green. Then on lanes 5 and 6, we have Lynn Walcott, Lillian Vittens, Danny Graham, and Marsha Daly. Then on our other camera, that we will switch to in a minute, but we'll watch Marsha in action. Lillian there just struggling to get the carry, but Trevor though ran out of Bromborough Bowl, gets a strike. That's 2 on the cards for him after 2 frames. Things you love to see as a bowler. So we'll jump over to the other camera then and we'll run you through who we got on these 4. So, to the left of us, lanes 9 and 10, we have Paul Oberman, Colin Gross, Gay McCullough and Sandra Simmons. We've just seen him on lanes 5 and 6. They've jumped over to this lanes. And then on lanes 11 and 12, we have Frosty, Mike Hallowell. We have Steve Coates, Gordon Humphreys and Angie Brown. Should be our high scoring pair on paper, but we know what paper says in this game. Sometimes it just needs tearing up. Angie Brown then bowling on 12. Top of the women's standings at the moment, gets that strike, arms outstretched. Frosty only picks up the 2 from that 4 that was left there. Kay McCullough on lane 9 gets that strike. That's 2 from 2 in this 5th game. And when she was on here in the last pairing, she did have the first 7. Can she go any better? And in these 2 games that she has on this pair, Colin Gross leaning back asking for the strike, doesn't get it, leaves the 9 pin. And as we know as bowlers, leaving the 9 pin, you ought to be unlucky. Steve Coatsy then on lane 12 gets that strike. That's 2 from 3 for Coates. A split 1, an 8-1 split in the first frame. Bounce back though with 2 strikes. Gordon Humphreys gets his strike on lane 11. That's 2 from 3 from him. 5 miss and then 2 strikes from Gordon. Can Colin Gross get his spare? Yes, he can. Spares it up as the skeets are being passed back out. That probably means that we've got scores on the doors from the first 4. So we'll get a picture of them and I'll read them out to you. Give me 2 seconds and we'll get that one sorted. Yeah, I seen Walt giving cheats out before. Right then, as it stands then, after 4 games, we have Mark Wills with an 880, Colin Gross with a 687. Pretty poor performance is that from Colin. You know he can do better, but he's what, 100 And 19 pins down on scratch. Something that you don't normally associate with me dad. Paul Oban then 751. Sandra Simmons with a 791. Gay McCullough with an 866. Gordon Humphries with a 906. Angie Brown with an 863. Steve Coates with a 789. Mike Callowell with an 801. Frank Livesey with an 896. Neil Highgate with a 770. Ake Broekhuizen from the Netherlands with an 721. Les Grant, the Entertainer. That's what his nickname should be, to be honest with you. If it was darts, it'd be pronounced as Les. The Entertainer Grant. He's on 878, going well. Here's Les. Mike Ince with a 717. Marsha Daly with a 703. Gary Barlow. And it's the bowler from Yorkshire, not a singer from Lancashire. Gary Barlow with an 827. Steve Thornton with an 808. Paul Scott with a 761. Sandra Boswell with a 766. Stephen Bowles with a 784. Nev Robinson with an 896. Going well is Nev, the man out of Bromborough Bowl. Trevor Green with a 741. Baz Walcott with a 767. Anthony Robinson with a 791. Lynn Walcott with a 697, sorry. Lillian Vitens with an 807. Hilary Cook with a 739. Andy Young with a 76 there. Frida Pascal with an 842. And Alan Jenkins with a 900. I've missed out Alan Keddy there, who had a 825. So that's the scores as it stands at the moment. You pick off the bunch then at the top of that ranking. Looks like with a 906 Gordon Humphries. Going well. Then in second place with a 900 is Alan Jenkins. Then in third could be Frank Livesey with a 960, with an 896. Joint there with Nev Robinson, who has the same scoring, including their bonuses then. So that's as it stands after 4 games in this session. A few bowlers got a chance to be within that top 24. So joint third place, Frank Livesey is top of that rankings at the moment, as we see Colin Gross pick up a spare then. Gay McCullough going for her baby split. Only can pick up that single 5-pin. Means that she'll open her 4th frame. All over 9 spare strike, 9 spare so far for him. Bowling 10th frame, the 10th lane, 4th frame gets a strike. Could we see that perfect 200 game? Spare strike, things you love to see. Means you've been consistent with your spares, which is always a good thing in this game. Angie Brown there getting her spare on lane 11. Sandra Simmons gets a strike on lane 9. Starting off well in this 4th game is Sandra. Gay off the back of her open then. And Gordon Humphries on lane 12 bowling, near enough identical time, and Gay heavy on the head pin leaves a 3-pin. She got away with that one. You see Gordon Humphries then get a strike. 4 strikes from 6 for Gordon, 5 miss in the first frame, a 9 spare in the fourth. Bouncing back well from that 5 miss. See Colin Gross completely missing the headpin, going straight through that 3 pin. Struggling is Colin. Probably an understatement. Back to the stream. Let's go over to the other camera after we watch Gordon. Oh my god, that was close to being in the gutter. He knows it as well. Got off camera, you see him wipe his brow. He's got away with one there. I mean, he's left a big split, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse. Coatsy goes into the headpin heavy. We'll go over to the other camera then. Baz Walker's just got a strike off shot. just in front of the computer here. Stephen Coates, as I went off him as well on the camera, puts the ball in the gutter. First shot. I don't actually know if we might have caught that on camera, to be fair. But yeah, after a spare as well. Hillary then, bowling. Struggles to get the carry through that pocket. Martha. Bowling lane 5. Yep. Nice strike from her. It's never in doubt. And Walker there missing her spare. More like it though from Hillary as she gets hers. Anthony Robinson then bowling lane 4. Fingers on her brow. Wasn't happy with that one. Leaves the 2-7-8. Not as easy as it looks to spare this one. Can he do it? We wait with bated breath as we see him walk away. There's no pins left there, so that must mean that he spared it up. Hillary into that Brooklyn pocket, but she gets the strike. If you're just joining us anyway in this international senior bowling, so it's a Saturday night, there's no football on. What else would you rather be watching than some seniors bowling in Stroud? I know I'd rather be watching this than watching some bad talent show or some real bad drama. You know what I mean? You'd rather be watching this. Anyway, standings. After 10 squads, you've got what's remaining of this. They're in the 6th game, so they've got 2 games left. No, they're in the 5th game, sorry. So they've got this and game after this, so 2 games left. And then another squad at 6:30, which we'll be bringing you live as well. But anyway, the standings after 10 squads. In the males section, the top 3 are in the general rankings. Frank Livesey has a 13.65, the man from Yorkshire. Then the man from Lancashire, another United Kingdom bowler, has 13.47. Then in 3rd place is Ken Burton with 13.16. Then in the scratch rankings then, at the top of that, Mike Halliwell, the Lancashire athlete, 12.57. Second place, the Yorkshire man, Frank Livesey, 12.33. And then in 3rd, another man from Lancashire, Steve Coates, with a 12.25. Then in the turbo rankings, at the top of that, we brought you it live this morning. Gary Christopher, our first 300 on the channel from him. Things you love to see. In 2nd place, the near miss of Vincent Winyowns with that 293 that we brought to you live yesterday, Friday, at the International Senior Bowlers Tour Part 2. Or it might be Part 3. Can't remember because the screen did go down at one point. To watch back that one, he had the first cent. Was unlucky with his 11th. Finished up with that 293. Did Vincent, and then in third place in that one is Steve Carnell with a 274 Then in the women's section, at the top of the women's, is the United Kingdom bowler Angie Brown with 13.39. Then in second place is the Belgian bowler of Verona Kate with 12.73. Then in third place is Liliane Vitens, another bowler from Belgium, with 11.92. And scratch at the top of that is Verona Kay with 12.55. And in second place in the scratch is Angie Brown with 12.55. Oh no, they're joints up. I'm just reading it as the sheet says. Do not judge. Then in third place is Gay McCullough with 11.72. Top of the turbo rankings then, Angie Brown with 2.49. Then in second place is Gay McCullough with a 2.44. And in third place is Verona Kay from Belgium with a 2.40. So that's as it stands before this squad. Obviously you've got what remains of this game and another game afterwards as we watch Danny Graham then go for his spare. Doesn't make it, unfortunate for Danny. He struggled in the squad before, finishes up with a 152. He had a good last game though in the squad earlier, so hopefully he can match that one. As we have the camera behind his lane, I'll try and bring him as much if he's bowling pretty well, because my first real experience of seeing this when I was pacing in the Nationals back whenever that was at Mansfield. Pacing, you had Neil Highgate and Danny on my pair of lanes, and you had some right banter on that pair, so a little soft spot for Danny, I suppose. Yeah, and Neil, because first experience of senior bowlers. And I bowled pretty well, so that helps as well. Trevor Green then, bowling on lane 4. Looks like he's inside with that one. Yes, he definitely was. Leaves a big split. He needed the ball to do quite a bit there to avoid that. You see Liliane on lane 6 get a strike. Probably wasn't expecting that one with the way she turned the back to the shot. Marsha gets her spare. So the scores then finished. Liliane had a 147. No, she didn't. She had a 162. But she's bowling with Lynn, and they both got L's at the start on these screens. The screens are out back the 1970s. They're the ones where you still get static on your arms, but it still works. So why change them? You know what I mean. Lynn had a 147. Marsha then finishes up with a 169. It's finished on lane 3 for Trevor. He had a 179. Hillary picks up her spare, which means she'll have one more shot in this 5th game. Fast Walker bowls. Couldn't continue with his strikes. He had 3 on the bounce before that one. Leaves that single 7-pin. So I'm going to have to switch to the other camera because I've just looked up at the scores. Sandra Simmons currently sat on 239 in the 10th frame with 2 shots left to go. 2 9 spares and the rest strikes. The 9 spare coming, first 9 spare coming in the 2nd, and the 2nd coming in the 9th. I imagine she was probably unlucky with them 2 shots. That's like pull the camera to her. pulls the shot, goes straight through the head pin, but it's still going to be a decent game from Sandra. She'll be finishing with at least a 246 plus whatever she gets on this next shot from the free that she's left. We'll have a look at what the turbo scores are in the women's, because probably got a chance of finishing near the top. The two that go through in the turbo. So yeah, she'll be sat in second even if she misses this. She takes out 2, so that means she'll have 248 on the card. She'll definitely be sat in second with that one. So she might make the final off the turbo scores if she doesn't make the top. I think it's top 6 for the women in the general rankings. Yes, top 6 for the women, so she might, if she don't make the top 6, she'll probably definitely make it through off the turbo ranking. So it's finished then here for the 5th game. Sandra with a 248, Colin with a 187, Paul with a 206. And they'd moved it on to the next game before I could read out Gay's score, but it was in the 200s anyway. I think it was a 221. I'll sort out the other camera and I'll bring you a bit more commentary out because it's gone to no signals, which means I need to press a button and it'll come back live. And then I'm back after sorting out both cameras. Because when one fails, they both fail. Typical. Watch Paul Oberman then pick up his spare. Something that his partner on the lane couldn't do in that second frame. I feel like I'm going all out attack on him, but to be fair, it's me dad, it's me job, innit? Gordon Humphries there. Get a spare. On lane at 12. Colin Gross there, a nice strike from him. Bouncing back from his 9 spare. Mike Callowell, nice strike from Frosty there. He's got 3 in a row. But we're going to switch over to the other camera. And I've been reporting on the wrong camera this whole time. I can't believe what I've done. Ugh. It's getting late in the day now, that's what I'm blaming it on. Marsha can't continue with her 3 that she had. Lillian. She can, nope. That's 4 in a row for her now. Baz Walker then, nice 7-10 for him to try and spare. He only gets the 7. It's alright. You take the 1 all day long when you leave the 7-10. Ooh. Nice spare. Andy Robinson there. Wants to stand in front of the camera, but gets a strike anyway. Danny Graham got a spare in his last shot. He had 9 tackle so far in this game. As I say that, gets a 7. Shouts of come on as he's walking off the lane there. Been walking in on lane 6, she's about to bowl. Gets her strike. Alright, Cap, the Belgian bowler. Liliane Vitens continue with her strikes. It's looking good. No, it's not. Ignore me. I've done a Frank Warburton. People from a certain area will understand that one, especially in the senior group anyway. Used to be a bowler, does crown green bowling now. And whenever he mentions something that's going to happen, it does the complete opposite. Hence the phrase, you've done a Frank Warburton. You see Anthony Robinson there going straight through the head pin, but getting away with it and leaving the 3-6. Trevor Green then going through spare. Watch Marsha's before we jump back over to the other camera then. Anthony gets his, Marsha gets hers. Let's go over to the other camera then. Sandra really pulling that shot. Telling herself that was a poor shot there. Body language says it all really as she walks off the lane. And Gordon Humphries with a nice strike. Continuing a good run that he's had in this game. You see Paul Loveman putting another strike on the cards after 2 spares and a strike in his first frame. Steve Coates pulling out very wide. He's never going to come back from where he put that one. Sandra there picking up her spare nicely. Andrew Brown there gets a over strike. 2 split misses from her before that, so it's nice for her to bounce back from there. Steve Cope bounces back from putting his ball out very wide. Pick up this spare. Colin Gross there. Nice strike from him, really struggled in this session, but looks like he's going to bounce. Good game in this final one of this set. Strike 9 miss, then 3 back. I'm alright, thank you. Paul Logan then. Can he make it a double? Yes, he can make it a double. Frosty looking for the spare, gets the spare. Lancashire bowler. Sandra there with a nice strike. Shouts of well bowled Simo from the lane at the side of it. So then King McCulley. Pulls that one across very heavy onto the headpin, leaves the 310. Go back over to the other camera to watch Danny Graham in action. Struggling a little bit in this game, is Danny, leaving that 10 pin, just struggling for the carry. The other camera obviously not on show at the moment, but Colin Gross continued his form with another strike. Cully gets her spare as well on the over camera, but we're watching Trevor Green now. It's very narrow on that shot, straight through headpin, hence why he's left what he's left. You can see it on screen at the top there. The 3, 6, 7. Danny Graham and Hillary both going for their spares, both missing their spares. Lillian then bowling for her 10 pin. She misses it as well. Wow, it's a freak show at the moment in terms of sparing single pins. Started off with that front 4. Split miss. 9 spare and a 9 miss. Means that she's sat on 142 at the moment. Marshall. Heavy on the headpin again, leaves the 3 pin. Then on lanes 3 and 4 then. Anthony Robinson's bowling now on lane 3. Couldn't get the revs back into that pocket. Leaves the 2, 4, 5, 8. Whereas Walker, the other man from the northeast on that pair of lanes, gets the strike. Danny Graham leaves a 5 pin, you know what I mean? Anthony Robertson gets his spare. Then Walker then through the head pin. A lot of people now going heavy on the head pin. Not many people seem to be finding the pocket. As you say that, lane 2 seems to find it pretty fine. I don't know who that was that was bowling on there though. Heather relieves the 10 pin. Does Annie Graham get his 5 pin? Yes, she does. See, Emily, if you're still watching, that's how you spare him. Trevor Green then, lane 3. See, it's the pocket this time. Doesn't be as narrow as what he was on lane 4. Gets his strike. Rewarded for hitting his mark. Things that, like Ward was saying on that little interview that we had with him before, he was saying you're rewarded for hitting your mark. If you miss your mark, then that's when you seem to get into trouble. If you're a little bit wide, it doesn't come back. If you're narrow, it goes heavy on the head pin. You leave the splits, as we've seen on quite a lot of shots in this game so far on many a pair of lanes. See Marsha there with a strike on lane 6. Lillian Vitsensen, the Belgian bowler. Heavy on the head pin, like we said. If you're inside or slow, that's what's going to happen. Same with Paz Walker. What happens with, like you were saying, the change of oil, going from ice to fire, doesn't sit as long. Andy Robertson stands in front of the camera, runs his hand across it, you know it's a strike. The way that he reacts alone, cheeky smile. Leanne Vitsen spares her shot. Go back over to the other camera angle then. Watch Gordon Humphries go for his 3 pin. Oh, just about spares the 3 pin. Brushed it, blew it over. McCulley then. Leaving the 2. Colin Gross off the back of 5 in a row. Strike 9 spare, then 5 in a row. We're watching him now on lane 9. Seems to like it, does like it. Big fist pump as the pin from behind takes it. Means that he gets 6 in a row, and to be fair, with the way that he's bowling, he's going to need this off the turbo. That's if he's entered the turbo, that is. Steve Coates there. I think he struggled in this set, but he's had a good set from yesterday, which means he doesn't really need this one, but he gets that strike. What's he doing? I think he thought it was the 10th frame. Only Coatsy would do that. Oh. Game McCulley then bowling, turns her back on it straight away. Did not like that one. Gordon Humphries likes his. I'm worried for a minute as that 6 pin just glided across the lane. It fell in the end. Right then, can Colin Gross continue? Yes, yes he can. You know he's liking it when he starts leaning his back and everything and then throws a shot. Saying that to confirm with Lol that he entered the turbo. He did enter the turbo. He's probably going to need this to get through. And need other scores to go his way. He'll need Gary, Christopher and Vincent. Well, to be fair, he could finish second in the turbo or third if one of them sits in that top 24. He'll go through.
You got comments board on there then, or what?
Nah, the chat's disabled.
Right.
Steve Coates there, getting another strike, bowling on the right lane for his 10th frame. Steve Coates again on lane 10. Bowles gets another strike. Right then. Colin Gross, lane 9. Gordon Humphries, lane 11. Colin will need this. Definitely needs this. Yes, he gets it. Gordon Humphries goes straight through the head pin, leaves a big split. Okay, McCullen gets a spare, which means that she'll have another shot in this 10th frame. Gordon picks up his 2. Right, can Colin continue his run? Yeah, he can. It's another one. He's learnt well from his son, has Colin. Taught him all he knows. So rumour has it. Okay, McCullen then finishes with a strike, finishes with a 178. I'm waiting for the comments to come through on this one. Definitely learnt off his son. And I don't mean the poor run of form, I mean the strikes that he's having now. Yeah, finishes it off. Excellent strikes at 9, missing the perfect game, but finishes with a 268. That'll be enough to see him into 3rd place in the turbo rankings. So all he needs is for one of them two, either Vincent or Gordon, to finish in the top 24. If he hasn't finished in the top 24, that might be enough to pull him back. But I mean, he was
Second baller, Liam 10. Yeah, Liam 4, sorry. Yep. Be as straight as it's not recycling. I think on the straight it's recycling. Right, yeah. Alright.
Paul Oberman then tried to get another strike on the cards, couldn't, leave the 10 pin. Watch Angie Brown's last shot there on lane 11. Gets a strike. The look of that was alright. Finishes with a 160, does Angie then. We'll watch what is left of this game from Sandra Simmons and Paul Oberman. Paul bowling at a single pin spare. Picks up that single pin spare. You wouldn't expect any less from him. $200 on the card as it stands for Paul, plus whatever he gets on his next shot. Andrew Simmons there missing her spare, so she'll finish with a 171. Paul Oberman then bowling, gets 7, or is it 6? 7 it was, finishes with a 207. Gay finished with a 178 and Colin Groves finished with a 268. Alright then, we'll go over to the other camera then. Watch the ending on lanes 3 and 4. Nice strike there from Trevor, makes it 2 in the 10th frame. Finished on 5 and 6 then. Lynn Walcott 174, Lillian Vitens 221. Danny Graham 146 and Marshall with a 200. You see Hillary there getting a spare. Nice little fist bump to the camera. She walks back. Problems with line 3. That strike's been brought up as a miss. Baz Walker then. Oh, lovely strike from Baz. Trevor finished with a 207. Hillary finished with a 159. So we're just waiting then for Baz and Anthony to finish their shots. And that'll be it from this session. And then you got 7 and 8 as well, I suppose. Missed 7 and 8 because I got a massive Irish flag in the way, so I can't see. Anthony gets the messenger. Finished with a 177. Did the man from the northeast. Baz Walker then bowling his final shot. Gets a 9. That means he'll finish with a 185. So that's it for this Saturday session. Once Annie Yang bowls at her 5 pin, just about gets it. Just about gets that 5 pin. And that sums it up. That finishes it for the live stream then of this second session on the Saturday. There's one more session left to go. We'll bring you that one live on Riding the Ditch, so stay tuned for that one. There'll be a new stream up for it. But until then, it is a goodbye from me while I go and get a refreshment. I'll see you then.